Hello guys, welcome to another video. Today's video, I am going to talk about how to control your mind. This is obviously something that we talk about a lot, manifestation or law of assumption. And it can be challenging if we don't know how to take care of emotions, how to purify the mind, how to disidentify from belief systems and judging based upon appearances. This can be very, very challenging. But in today's video, we're going to discuss how to purify the mind, how to release energy and motion, how to disidentify from things that don't serve you, and how to stop reacting to appearances. So, I made a diagram here, and I'm going to put it in front of the camera so you guys can see. But fundamentally, you will see that there are two sources that you get information from. Now, one of the sources is going to be your subconscious mind, right, which is down here, which is your body, where you feel energy and motion. This is where, why you feel like you have to affirm so much is because the body's affirming you're not loved, right? So, for instance, with an SP, the first time I manifested my wife, I had to affirm that she loved me so much because my body was affirming that she didn't love me, or that I've never been loved. Because I had so many experiences throughout my life where that was the case, the body didn't forget those experiences, and so it was telling me, no, you're full of it. You weren't loved. You're never loved. You're not loved. And so then I thought, well, I'll just keep forcing it with my mind, and then eventually it'll be accepted. And that wasn't the case. What I find an affirmation fundamentally does is an affirmation is a high or it's a bandage to a gunshot wound. Because the issue is that there are some deep things that are subconsciously held from past experiences or trauma or beliefs. And we'll get more into this a little bit later. So that's one source, is the subconscious mind or the body. And then the second one is your heart. So I find as more and more that my mind is purified and I emotionally regulate from releasing these past experiences, the more that my heart is now in the center of filling my consciousness with ideas and visions and imagining. So obviously my quality of life gets better and better. So the question is then how do you purify the subconscious mind? How do you purify the body so the body stops affirming and contrary to what you love, and allow the heart, which is Steve Jobs put absolutely beautifully, follow your heart and intuition, for it already knows who you want to become, or have the courage to follow your heart and intuition, for it already knows who you want to become. Everything else is secondary. So how do we get to this point? Well, the most important aspect, and I talk about this a lot in my school community, so if you're interested, I will put the link in the description. You can definitely check that out. But what we want to do is we want to observe the energy and motion. We want to feel the energy and motion without judgment, without resistance, without labeling it, without shame or condemnation. And what you'll find will end up happening is the energy and motion will come up and then it'll transmute, it'll leave. Well, what's part of that energy and motion is a story. So, for instance, as I was releasing this stuff on the journey to manifesting my wife, there was a story about how I was never loved, or how my mom abandoned me, or there was other instances where, I would get really worried if my wife was emotional or something like this, because when I was young, if my mom was emotional, that meant I wasn't going to be loved. So this was a sensation that would pop up in the body as a belief that I'm not okay. And what really helped with this was just becoming the observer, not identifying with the programming that was currently saying, oh, your wife doesn't love you or you're not safe now, but feeling that energy and motion and releasing it, which then resulted as the body being stabilized. And so the more and more I did this, the more and more that the body stops affirming that I'm not loved, that I'm not safe, that I'm not cared about. And then my heart takes over. And the best way I can describe your heart is this, as I talk about, you are fulfilled because you exist, right? You are perfection because you exist. You are everything that you desire to be because you exist. And all these symbols are out here they're just reflections of that perfection that you are in consciousness. So an easy way of putting this is when you abide as awareness, or when you abide in a meditative state, like you're in meditation all day long, you are aware that you are love and bliss. And these aren't concepts. These aren't things that your mind tells you. This is a knowing. This is a being that you feel to be true. And yes, maybe your brain comes and tries to articulate what you're experiencing being-wise into a concept, because the brain likes to do concepts. But you know in your being that you are fulfilled and that you lack nothing. And then what happens is life shows up as symbols of this. Well, in your heart, you have specific symbols. So what I mean by that is your person that you love being in a relationship with is not my person, right? Or the amount of money that I make uh, that would be considered fulfillment or abundance for me, it's probably different than yours. Um, some people are very, very happy with living in the woods. Some people are happy living in a van. Some people are happy traveling the world, right? Everybody has their own different symbol of what fulfillment is for them. So your heart is pointing you towards that symbol of fulfillment for you. That's its sole job. So it doesn't care about conditioning. It doesn't care about people pleasing. It doesn't care about belief systems or boundaries or past experiences. It simply cares about getting you to that which you consider your fulfillment, your symbol of fulfillment, your symbol of bliss. That is your heart's concern. So what we do is we practice being present. You're living in a waking meditation. Let's say energy and motion comes up, followed by some thought patterns, which means that a belief came up or a condition came up, or your mind's wanting something or says it lacks something. Simply all you do in this instance, and Lester Levinson said this beautifully, is you simply become still. That's it. So instead of identifying with the programming and thinking in relation to the programming and reacting to the programming, what the story's being said in your mind, become still. And the beautiful thing is, you don't need to know how to correct that incorrect thinking. Consciousness will fix it. Consciousness purifies the mind. So you contemplate stillness, and then what will happen is that programming will then leave. Well, what I've experienced is sometimes I come into a similar situation like that, and maybe the programming still comes up, but there's a less emotional reactivity. Sometimes there's no emotional reactivity. It's gone after that one time. Really, it doesn't make a difference one way or another. They're both completely okay. But the point is when programming does come up, it is a beautiful opportunity for me to purify the mind by just simply contemplating stillness. Now, the brain may tell you, well, I'm avoiding it, or I'm not handling the problem. The funny thing is that there is no problem unless you're conscious of it. So it's just the brain's attempt to do what the brain loves doing. So contemplate stillness and you will purify the mind. And if there's energy in motion, just simply observe the energy in motion, allow it to come up, allow it to release. And you'll find that what happens is fundamentally everywhere you go to, you abide in a meditative state. And then what happens is the more that you're in that meditative state, the more that life shows you symbols of love and bliss that are personal and intimate to you. So that is pretty much it. That is how you stop reacting to the body, how you stop seeing reality through past circumstances and trauma and beliefs. Release this information so that you're not having to fight against the body by affirming in the mind. Because once you purify the body, you release this, you feel the sensation somatically, they will release. And then it stops affirming, it stops imagining to the contrary of your desires. And then they effortlessly flow to you. You are directed by your heart and intuition, as Steve Jobs beautifully put. And every one of your desires just flow to you. I love you guys. Thanks for watching.